This is Unit 3, Target 5. I can determine the volume of prisms, pyramids, cylinders, and cones when given a formula. Now, the first thing I want to do is relate this to what we had just finished. We had finished talking about the surface area of the prisms. When we talk about the surface area, we talk about all of the areas of the faces put together. When we start to talk about volume, our concept is going to be how much can we put into the prism. The volume is going to be measured in cubic units. If this is 1 unit by 1 unit by 1 unit, so it has a length of 1, a width of 1, and a height of 1, this is going to be 1 unit cubed. So now when we're talking about volume, we're going to try to figure out how many of these cubic units can fit into here, and that's how we'll measure our volume. The example I want to do for this square prism is going to be, we are going to have a base of 3 centimeters here, 3 centimeters here, and a height of 11. So we have a measurement of 3, 3, and 11. To find the volume of any prism, we're going to find the area of the base. Capital B means area of the base. Next, we're going to multiply that by the height of the prism. So in this particular example, we are going to take 3 times 3, and I'm going to put this in parentheses because this represents the area of the base. Then we're going to multiply that by the height of the prism, which is 11. So we have 3 times 3, that'll give us the area of the base, times the height, which is 11. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 11 is 99. And we have to think about our label. Once again, kind of back to the cubes, this would mean we could put 99 centimeters cubed in here. And when we write this, we write cm with a little 3 meaning cubed, or we could write out 99 cubic centimeters. Our next example for volume will be the volume of a triangular prism. We are going to follow the same formula where we find the area of the base and multiply it by the height of the prism. So we're going to find the area of a triangle, multiply by this height to come up with the volume. In our example here, when we're trying to find the area of the base, we know that a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So we look for the base of the triangle, here is 6, times the height of the triangle, which has to be that perpendicular height, which here is 3, and we're going to divide by 2. That represents the area of the base. Now we're going to multiply that by the height of the prism. Here we have a height of 10. Now we go ahead and do our calculations. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. And 9 times 10 is going to be 90. Now we have to remember that we're talking about volume, so once again we are going to have this in cubes. So we have inches cubed. The next example, we're going to find the volume of a cylinder. A cylinder is going to be our three-dimensional shape that has a base of a circle. So when we find the volume of the cylinder, we are going to find the area of the base, multiply it by the height. The area of the base is just going to be a circle. To find the area of the circle, we take pi r squared, where r is our radius. Then we're going to multiply it by the height of the cylinder. In our example here, we look and we find our radius is 6, so we're going to take pi, which is 3.14, times 6 squared. There is a squared key on your calculator, or 6 squared means 6 times 6. And then times the height. The height is going to be, in this example, 12 inches. We can use our calculator to do this calculation. This should give us 1,356 and 48 hundredths. We have to label it again. We are still talking volume, so this will be inches cubed. Also in Target 5, we're going to find the volume of a pyramid. Now, when we find the volume of a pyramid, we're going to find out how this pyramid that has a square base relates to this prism that has a square base. They have the same size base, they have the same height. To do that, I'm going to use some colored water. We're going to figure out how many of these fit into our square cube here. We have 1, 2, 2, minus a little bit I spilled, and perfectly at 3. So we have 3 of these pyramids that will fit into this prism. So in a formula, when we do this, we are going to take our volume of this prism, and this would get our prism, and we are going to simply divide that by 3, because 3 of the pyramids fit into this prism. In our example here, we are going to find the volume of this pyramid. This pyramid has a square base, 4 meters here, 4 meters here, and a height of 9 meters. Now the height in this pyramid is going to be shown perpendicularly from the top vertex down to the base. So, capital B represents our base area. In this case, it's going to have a 4 times 4. Now we're going to have to multiply that by the height of the pyramid. Our height here will be 9. And because it is a pyramid, we divide by 3. So we go through our multiplication here, and we will end up with 48. Once again, volume, so meters cubed, or 48 cubic meters. All right, next we're going to find the volume of a cone. When we're looking at the volume of a cone, we're going to relate it to the similar cylinder that has the base, which are the same size, and in this case has the same height. We're going to do the same thing we did with the pyramid. We're going to show how many of the cones would actually fit into the cylinder. We're looking to see, does this have the same relationship as a pyramid? The pyramid, we had 3 of these that would fit in. And in the case of the cone, we should start to see we have the same relationship. So we're going to have 3 of the cones will equal the cylinder. So when we go from the cylinder to the cone, we're going to do the same as we did before, which is divide by 3. Now, let's do an example. We said we have the area of the base times the height. Because this is a cone, we are going to divide by 3. Here's our example cone. We have a radius of 6. We have a height of 12. So when I'm doing this, I have to find this base area. Base area of a circle would be pi r squared. Then I'm going to multiply it by the height, and then I have to divide by 3. So this is going to be our equation that will find the volume of a cone. Pi, we are going to use 3.14 times our radius. In this case, our radius is 6. If they would give you the diameter, you would have to cut the diameter in half to find our radius. So this is going to be times 6 squared. Remember that, 6 times 6. Times the height. The height is shown perpendicular between the base and the vertex up here of the cone, which is 12. Divide by 3. And this is a good time to use your calculator to come up with this answer. And this answer should give us 452 and 1600ths meters cubed.